Hey there, Grimm fans. You better believe that we're back at AfterBuzz TV talking about Grimm episode 516. We're going to talk about demons. We're going to talk about x-rays on cloths. And we've got a special beloved Grimmster who is back in the AfterBuzz TV studios. All that and more on tonight's AfterBuzz TV Grimm After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, AfterBuzz Grimmsters. Welcome back. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Can't be more excited to talk to you about Grimm tonight. And before, you can tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the show. That's Zach Wilson. Yeah. All good. Yael's here. Yael Tygiel.
Yeah.
Dylan's back!
Yeah, all right.
Dylan's back, and Tari is missing.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with it. Dylan!
Well, the
Thank you for coming
Dillon
back.
suit was finally fixed, so I decided to switch again.
The Dillon suit. Where does one purchase a Dillon suit?
It's special made.
You know, I mean, you just go downtown. There's like 8 places, and
I know a guy.
I need to get me a Dillon
in
suit.
the fashion district, they can get them wholesale.
I would have so much fun with a Dillon suit.
That's enough.
Sorry.
All right. Well, Dylan, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be back.
So we're talking about The Believer. Grimm. Before we dive into the episode, we got to start with the quote.
Yes.
We are each our own devil, and we make this world our hell.
Where's that quote from?
It's Oscar Wilde.
Again, we have a lot of Oscar Wilde this season.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure we've done Oscar Wilde recently.
Yeah.
I bet you they just like pulled a bunch of Oscar Wilde quotes at one point, and they were like, oh, that one works. And that one too. Do you think we should use that much Wilde? And they're like, yeah, it's fine.
No one will notice. It's not like there's a show that every week decides to read it.
All right. Dylan, so thank you for coming back to join us now that you're back in LA.
Yes.
What do you think of Grimm season 5 so far?
Man, I'll tell you what. I was behind probably like 4 or 5 episodes because I've been dealing with a lot of moving and job stuff. But I got to binge watch this week. And I'll tell you what. This show, binge watching, is so much fun. Like, I haven't got to binge watch Grimm in so many years that I forgot what it was like. But, like, when you're getting to watch them one by one, it's just so much, like, you know, back to back. It's so much fun. But I'm really liking this. I think the start of the season, I was kind of, you know, a little standoffish. It seemed like a little slow to start. But this tail end that we're catching here, I like it. I'm having fun. I like this. I like their trip over to Germany or wherever they were, and finding all that stuff was fun. And now they got this cool magic wand that can heal people. Like it's.
I imagine this. The back half of the season especially must be fun to binge watch because they've been like since the 100th episode we've gotten a little slower with the like serialized arc stuff. We'd be doing a few more Vest of the Weeks, and so we're like chomping at the bit. But if you get like a bunch of it all at once, you're like, yeah,
it was fun.
What's the shroud say? Instead of like 4 weeks of like, what's the shroud say? We want to know. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's dive into this episode. What did you got? First reactions to The Believer?
First reactions was we had Daniel Di Tomasio as Mark, one of the 3, Mark, John, and Peter. What were their names?
Mark, Luke, and John.
Yeah, same thing.
Do you think he like actively he had like a list of applicants and when somebody was named like Jerry and they were perfectly qualified and he's like, yeah, but that doesn't fit the scheme.
You know what's funny is
sorry, Jerry.
I believe full-heartedly that those were not their names. That like they changed their names.
Oh, like he hired them.
He
like,
hired
you
them,
will now be Luke.
Right. He was like, you need biblical names.
But didn't they have like criminal?
Yes. I still believe that they changed their names to have biblical.
Maybe
names.
they did, and then they got those criminal backgrounds while they traveled with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, who knows?
I liked that. And speaking of names, his ex-wife Joan Vark.
Yeah.
Joan Vark. I was like, this is so funny. The names on this episode was by far the like most amusing
Grimm
part.
loves to hide like names like that and stuff, even when it's like you're like, come on.
Like
Come
Peter
on.
Rabbit,
Yeah, like
Warden Hook.
Peter. Yeah.
Oh, good ones.
That one, the Warden Hook one, I was just like, all right, cool down, everybody. But yeah, this episode has a lot to dive into because not only do we have the Vesson of the Week, which is an interesting religious aspect that we don't see a lot on Grimm. But we also get this whole story with Renard, and I feel like let's tackle it up front.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait on it because I think everybody's waiting to hear what we're gonna say.
Yep. I got a lot of people tweeting us that we cannot just gloss over this.
Yeah, no, we're not going to. As much as this is like the second time that we're gonna have to go through this discussion for Grimm.
But I think it's different this time.
It is different. Well, let's just come out and say, so Eve she explained her plan to Nick and Hank and everybody.
And the
she's
audience.
going to pose, and the audience. She's going to pose as Renard in order to infiltrate Black Claw, because they believe, like, again, and I think that they're doing, like, it's very reasonable the way that everyone is, like, handling what to think of Renard.
Oh, yeah.
Of, like, he may not have been in on this, but he is, if at best, he is their pawn, and that makes him dangerous. At worst, he was in on it from the beginning.
Right.
But they're at least willing to believe he could just be a pawn in Black Claw's hands, and he may not know about all of this. So Eve's plan is to do exactly what she did with Adeline and become Renard.
Yeah.
Nothing could go wrong with that plan.
Yes.
I think it's smart. Like, it's like she knows that if you're a Hexenbeast and you can do that, and you're a spy,
Right.
yeah, you break out the witch bong,
Sure.
and you change into other people.
Right.
I did like Monroe's reaction, though. How would that even, like...
I love that Rosalie pointed out, like, but you're so tiny. It's true. She's so tiny, and he's like 100 feet tall.
It hurt more.
Yeah.
I like when she goes, "Do you remember when we switched places?" Yeah. No one's gonna forget. You know, like Monroe said, like, I don't think we could ever unremember.
And then she transforms.
Yes.
And sneaks into his... that's Renard's house,
Yeah,
right?
she was in Renard's house.
Okay.
She didn't sneak in. She wandered into her house.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
And what she wasn't counting on was Rachel coming over that quickly.
I think she was counting on Rachel coming over. I think what she wasn't counting on was Rachel wanting to come over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, this is where it gets weird.
Yep, let's discuss it.
So Rachel instigates and puts the moves on a man who she believes is her lover, Renard.
Yes.
And takes her upstairs and attempts to have sex with Renard.
Yes.
But Eve is not Renard.
Right.
Correct.
I want to do the humorous part of this first, because when he like can't get it up,
couldn't get it up.
it's really funny. But like, it's also, I also have to like credit to Sasha on this, like the difference, the way that he played Eve as Renard. I thought was very good, because it was those stilted movements.
Yes.
He was so awkward in his own body, and it was perfectly communicated as this performance. Now, this is where it gets
Before we get there,
awkward.
I also really like the shot of them with Renard having the sheets pulled up.
Yeah.
Covering his chest.
Because, well, regardless of whether or not you do that as a real life person, as a TV person, as a TV woman,
right,
you always pull the sheets up that high.
Yeah.
Right. So, TV woman on network television, let's be clear.
Yeah. True. You know that they actually built, like, so special sheets for those shots where they're different lengths.
Yeah.
To cover, like, the woman, like, where they're not, like, flat, like one side is longer than the other, so that the woman can be covered more naturally.
I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense. Yeah, because he's always shirtless, but in that scene, he's definitely covered up.
See, these are the things you notice when you're me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that Eve would have modesty.
I think Eve has modesty in that Eve feels, because Eve's Renard, right? It's such a weird out of body. Because even if like Eve could walk around naked, I think Eve as someone else feels so uncomfortable in that body that she would have some sort of discomfort, which would.
But what it implies is that Eve still does have emotions below her stone face.
Sure, of course.
Like she is not just completely devoid of emotion as she has presented herself to this point.
Yeah.
There is something going on under there. And
Yeah.
so what that could mean going forward is it opens up her character in terms of like she could have changes and arcs and stuff instead of just being this cold-blooded assassin that we've come to know.
Right. All right. Let's talk about the serious nature of this.
Yeah. It's such a touchy subject because basically what happens in a sense is a sexual assault.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to as our resident Law and Order expert?
I am the SVU expert.
I'm gonna defer to you on this one.
So just like with Adeline, which we talked about, which was very clearly a sexual assault, and this one I would say is definitely not. I think rape is off the table just because we can confirm that there was no penetration, right? So just in clinical terms, that can't be the definition, but sexual assault for sure, because we have Rachel coming on to what she thinks is Renard. And if there were any, sexual activities, Rachel is being taken advantage of because Renard is not Renard. It is Eve under false pretenses. And therefore, this is, again, the second time that we've had a sexual assault like this from a female Hexen beast pretending to be someone else and, having relations with someone. Which is a very serious thing that the show kind of glossed over with Adeline. And I know that we're a big fan of Nataland, but she did take advantage of him.
She did, and we've talked about that a lot on the show. And I in my head, there's a clear distinction between Hexen Beast Adeline and current Adeline, who has her powers removed, because I think they've done a good job at establishing that those are two. That is almost equivalent to having a mental illness that is there and then it's not. And the way you would blame or not blame somebody for the effect of a mental illness.
Yeah.
And I've accepted that, and that's part of why I am a Natalie shipper. Because those are separate things. Right. But this is Eve. We're talking about Eve specifically.
Right. And I think the thing is, in the long run, in terms of this show, I feel like Rachel is not going to feel victimized or that she was assaulted.
Well, Rachel's a bad guy. Let's be sure.
Her being a bad guy does not mean that she...
Not that she deserves it. Not that she deserves it. Not that she deserves it. That's not what I meant. But I don't think that she's going to be seeking revenge for this because there's so much more heinous stuff going on around her.
Well, and she may never know.
Yes. I mean, I think it would be very weird if she doesn't know because, let's be honest, she's going to bring it up next time. She's going to be like, you sure you're okay, sweetie? Because last time...
Hey, I mean, you never know what happened afterwards. They cut away, and then
she does say, let's try again like last time.
And she vogues.
And then she vogues. So
that's actually, I think that's the most body of a vogue that we've seen on Grimm. Or it's close.
Rosalie that one time, remember?
In the corset.
Yeah.
And when she was in the fair. How do you forget this?
I'm not.
You were the one most excited about it.
Yeah. You love Rosalie when she vogues.
I was just being, I'm trying to be chill, you guys. I'm trying to be chill. It's not helping. It's not working.
Anyway, but I don't think, Eve being Eve, I think Eve has trouble getting it up. I think regardless of if Rachel vogues or not. Eve can't get it up.
I don't know.
And there's totally legitimate reason for that.
Because she's not attracted to women.
Because she's a woman who's not attracted to women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't anyway. We're gonna
there's an interesting. It's always an interesting discussion when supernatural shows put basically somebody's brain into another body is how much biological stuff do you give to this new combination. Like Eve is not mentally attracted to men or to women rather. Eve is not mentally attracted to women, but the Renard DNA is.
I
and
thought
like
about
how
that
much
too.
it's an interesting discussion of how much of that is just built in program into who you are, how much of that is like then once you do that, how much of that transfers when you like magic into somebody via witch bong. It's interesting to think about. Also then you start thinking about like, well, if you're a hexen beast, like, and you can like move fluids around people's bodies, like, couldn't you effectively cast like an ED spell and just like get the flow going? I'm just saying.
Sharda in the chat says Eve's asexual, and I think you are now getting to. Somebody was asking earlier that if Rachel got pregnant during this session, would it be Eve's baby?
See, there's another interesting question.
It's an interesting question.
Does this new body, is this new Renard body capable of reproduction?
I think we can assume that it is because of what happened with Adeline, right? So like,
but they had the same inside parts.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but I think that because it could happen, it can happen. That's my theory. Regardless, we're off topic because they didn't consummate.
Well, here's the reason we're getting into a big discussion about this is
Kendall says they're shooting blanks. Go on.
from a writing standpoint and just from a story perspective, are you guys okay with the way this is handled?
With how what's handled?
The question of sexual assault versus not.
I think because Rachel, in the end, in the long run, isn't going to end up feeling victimized or taken advantage of or whatever. I think it's going to be more of a anger towards the HW for, infiltrating and getting secrets and whatever, that the whole sexual assault thing will be completely ignored or irrelevant to the story.
Yeah.
I just think it needed to be brought up because it is very much like, especially the last time this happened, it was very much a rape and there was no discussion about it. And I just feel like it needed to be addressed. And if they're going to continue doing stuff like this, which is hilarious, it needs to at some point have consequences or be discussed.
Yeah.
It would have been very different had she like turned into Renard, walked in and was like, hey baby, let's do this, and that'd be a whole different story.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I think we've said our piece on that. I don't think there's anything more to discuss. So let's move forward. Renard is debating. We see him in a mayoral debate on TV.
We're gonna call that debating.
Yeah.
Air quotes on that. I was not flailing.
I mean, either way, he's moving his campaign. Like, it's his first time ever debating.
I'm Renard. I'm running for mayor. How do you feel about these issues? I'm Renard. I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, he's talking about gun control and he's like accusing you of firing. You're like, I'm a cop.
Right. Done. Next question.
I have licensed by the state and the city to protect us. Yeah, I have a gun.
Yeah.
Back off, man. Are you trying to take the guns from the cops? I feel like you're missing the point here.
Yeah.
We're switching to British style.
Yeah, where no one has guns.
Oh boy. Yeah. Oh my.
Gray Maniac says, Renard, I was too nice. Followed by Shardo says his opponent was an asshole. Sarah says the mayoral discussion. Absolutely. It was a discussion. That was also, just in terms of like how they were doing it, that news anchor was sat in the center and kept having to swivel. And I was like, who like placed this set? It's not a good set. That's not how you do this.
Either way.
That is a real Portland news station, though. I looked it up. I was like, I wonder, is that really Portland NBC? It is.
Was that a Portland NBC?
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure it would be.
I'm sure she was like, why am I in the middle of them?
Oh, wait, I don't know if the actress was,
oh.
but that's their real
set.
call letters and their
All
stuff
right.
like that. So
Yeah. I mean, why
pretty
wouldn't
cool.
you?
Yeah.
You've got to shoot a local news segment,
Right.
you call up your like NBC, you're just like, Yeah, you're gonna let these guys just do it. All right, so let's jump over to the hunt for what the cloth is.
Before you go on,
Okay.
Grimaniac says he's waiting for someone on the panel to make a master debater joke.
I almost did that, but I was like, I'll just let that one slide.
No.
Don't tell us what jokes to make.
I want to talk about the cloth.
Yes.
And like I love that they're going about this in a 21st century style. They still haven't figured out how to scan books.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Scanning books is still somehow beyond the Grimm team's abilities.
They're just
But
busy.
They want to dodge all the hackers out there. You know, you start putting them online. Man, now you got hackers coming in, finding all these Grimm books.
just don't put it on the internet. Like you don't even need to have it on an internet connected device.
Just put it on some PC that's never touched the internet.
Exactly.
Like some portable hard drive.
Yeah, rip out the internet card if you must, but put it on digital. Have a backup. 2 separate locations.
Can we talk about the cloth now?
Yes.
Okay, so I asked Dan Grimaniac from the Grimm Wiki to send me the portion in Aramaic because Aramaic is written in Hebrew letters. And I started to get it translated and I worked on it because Aramaic is not Hebrew, so they're different words. It's very unclear and very hard to read. So when they get us a better shot, not Grimaniac, but when the show gives us a better, cleaner shot, I will not only get it translated, I will read it on the air in Aramaic.
And I am going to make you repeat it so many times.
Ha!
Um,
Yep. I just want that.
Were
out
you
there.
able to pick out any letters or anything that might have formed pieces of a word?
Yes, but because I'm not fluent in Aramaic, I couldn't put together words the way that like
Okay.
Rosalie could.
All right.
She was like, "Yeah, these letters can only make this word," and I was like, "Okay, you know Latin."
Yeah. Well, we did get some Latin at least.
Yes.
Like, it might be safe to assume that Aramaic might have just the same words. Maybe not. It could be another piece of the puzzle.
I think it's a totally different piece of puzzle.
But
So
so
much
what we
longer.
got was Miraculum and Periculoso. Miracle and Perilous. So a dangerous miracle.
Yeah.
That's what our magic wand is.
I'm wondering if Monroe started to worry a little bit after he heard that, like, because
he's been healed?
He's been healed with it, like,
And now he's
is it
going
gonna
to
do
die.
something bad? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that more or less confirms like what we've been thinking about it. Like it that this is somehow dangerous, but we just don't. Do you guys think it's dangerous because of how much power it holds?
Yeah.
Or is it or is there like a
dark side to it.
Yeah, like you get healed, but we take the soul of somebody else to
Ah!
do it. Like something like that.
I think it's more of it's so miraculous that it could be dangerous. Like if it fell into the wrong hands, you could have evil people just always keeping their armies alive or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's gonna
come back.
It's gonna come back to hurt him. Like now that he's been healed, if he gets cut again, he will just instantly die. Like he cuts himself shaving, dead. What just happened? That's what I think.
I wonder what would it do if someone was dead and you just like hit him with a stick? You just beat him with a stick. Would they come back to life? Is that the dark side? Now that there's some weird zombie creature?
Yeah. Courtney says all magic has a price. # once upon a time. Yeah, we know.
No. Hashtag
Grim. Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
We're not talking about fables over here.
So what if they started the same season? So what if they've both been around 100 episodes? Stay out of our show.
Yeah.
No, everybody, you can love both shows.
I do.
But Grimm is just so much better. Yeah, so there's I mean it's not a ton more, but like I like that we're getting more pieces of it, and that they're gonna have to investigate what the Aramaic says, what everything else on that cloth might mean, and then what we're gonna do with this magic stick.
I mean, it just seemed weird to me, though, that they were like, we're going to translate the Latin. Like, let's just translate the Latin. Okay, but I'm sure you have a way to translate the Aramaic. Like, you're sitting there. You might as well
That was
look
too
it
hard
up.
to read. They just zoomed and enhanced the Latin, so.
They should have zoomed in and enhanced the Aramaic. That would have been real helpful to me. Guys, it was really hard to read.
I mean, I think to translate the Aramaic, you have to go find like somebody who speaks Aramaic because there's not really an Aramaic like keyboard.
Yeah, but you got to,
In
okay,
Google?
so just what I'm saying is if you clarify the letters, I'm right here. I got this. I can get it translated.
So okay, so Grimm writers, everybody,
Yeah.
send us a close up of the Aramaic, and we'll be glad. Like
We'll help Nick.
Send us your photos. We'll be glad to translate for you.
Yeah.
We can be helpful too.
We could be their digital team.
Yes, if you send us the books, we'll even scan them for you.
Yeah, I got time for that.
I will make time for that.
Are we gonna talk about Woo?
Yes. Let's start like Woo's neck pain. His ominous neck pain.
And the
And blurry
blurriness.
vision.
Yeah.
All I could think was there was this video that just recently was going viral. It was a mom who his daughter has migraines, and so they put the mom through they put a headset on her so she could see things really weird, and lights were amplified. Anyway, so the idea was that the mom could see what a migraine felt like, and that's what Woo was having. I was like, Woo, that's what migraines feel like.
Oh. I think they just took Woo's clues a little too literal. Now he's turning into a dog instead of the
Nice.
host part of it.
Nice.
Oh, Woo's clues. I
That
miss
was
that,
good.
you guys.
It's Woo's Clues. Woo's Clues.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, I mean, it's more, again, this is just slowly driving us forward. Woo is maybe not going to become a full werewolf, but there's definitely going to be consequences of getting infected with the lycanthrope virus.
I think they're dragging it out because it has to be a month. Or we need a full moon.
Yeah, no,
it can't just
it definitely
happen.
has to be 4 weeks till we get it. But you would think it would it I guess it wouldn't completely dormant until then. Maybe it's starting to change things,
Yeah.
and then at the full moon, all of a sudden, Woo on rampage.
A
Maybe.
Woo wolf.
A Woo wolf.
A wolf? You mean?
Woo wolf.
A werewolf.
A werewolf.
Yeah, werewolf. Done. Hashtag werewolf.
This is why we need Dillon.
Yes.
So let's jump over to the investment of the week story. I think it's hilarious that there are 66 people in the live chat right now. At least on my screen, there are 66 people.
Yes.
As we go to talk about the devil.
Yeah.
That's not ominous at all.
Sorry, to our engineer, it's Woo with a U. He wrote hashtag werewoo. And it's
There it is.
Woo with you. There you go. Lydia says Woo turns into Honey Badger. Honey Badger don't care.
Oh my god.
I would take it.
All
I would
right.
absolutely take it.
All right, everybody settle down.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you guys think of this storyline? It was an interesting. I like the idea of this demon type Vesson, using his powers to basically run these classic church healing
Yeah.
tents.
Yeah,
traveling
evangelical
churches.
priest.
It
traveling around.
absolutely makes sense.
It's funny, and I like that when they look him up, they even say yeah, they're not even very hostile. They're actually pretty nice. They
Yeah.
just look pretty scary. I thought that was
Yeah,
a good touch.
A Furus Rubion.
Furious Rubion.
Yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. It's a fun one. It's not too difficult to say.
Yeah.
I think it was really nice that they had this discussion of well, he's not actually hurting anyone.
Yeah,
he's
he's
doing
not-
good. He's making people feel better.
Yeah, more good than harm.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's so. I guess. Well, this is the interesting thing about this type of Vesson that, and it absolutely stands to reason because I've seen it's a good thing in supernatural shows when you have somebody that looks like what we think of as the devil, people react strongly to that because they have predispositions about it, and. We got a little bit of Grimm history.
Oh yeah, parading them around.
That in medieval times, the Pope would lock them up because the Pope even probably thought unless the Pope was a Vesson, and you never know,
Or a Grimm.
Ooh,
or a Grimm,
Grim Pope.
Grimm Pope. I would watch that. I would watch that show. It's just the Pope this house has been sanctified. And he swings his axe.
Love it. I would totally watch that.
And then they would parade them around as be careful. Satan is everywhere.
Right.
Look at these demons. Yeah.
because people would believe them.
Sure.
Like people would like you see that. Look, even like we would be if somebody walked a demon in here, like a guy, somebody that looked like what we consider a demon, we'd be like, oh well, it's tithes. Take my tithe.
I don't understand that reference.
Money.
Oh, okay.
Take the money.
God, thanks.
Donation.
Do whatever you need.
Is that what you do?
Kill the demons.
That's what they're saying the church did, is that they got their tithes to go up because they walked these
I see.
Furus Rubions
Sorry.
around.
That's not a thing I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's like donating to the church so that the church has more money to do whatever they need to do to,
Yeah.
Okay.
spread the churchiness up through the world.
Spread the church.
I'll trust you. Sorry. Nikki S points out that it's interesting that they had the 12 gold coins for Mark versus the 30 pieces of silver for Judas. Very interesting that they were paying him. I was like, wait, I get the gold coin reference. I get that. That's a thing. The coins. You pay the coins to Judas. I get it.
I see. I didn't even pick up on it because it wasn't silver, so I missed it.
And then when he was hanging there, I went, Judas. That was Judas. I was like, wait, I get this reference. I understand it because it was in a Dracula movie.
Yeah, I mean, they play. I mean, this was the fact that it was a church war of sorts. Like, and it all sprang because he married a care site, basically. And then he must have just vogued at some point. She caught him voguing.
Well, I think she knew he was doing it as part of his sermon.
No, she couldn't have known.
No, she
because her whole thing was that she was freaked out because she thought that Satan had taken him.
No, I know, but I think that, I mean, it couldn't have been that he just accidentally did it in front of her, and that was what happened.
I think it would be that simple because basically she's a very religious person, right?
Yes.
And she sees him like being taken over. As from her perspective, all she sees is him turning into Satan and then turning back and not mentioning it.
Yeah.
As if it didn't happen. And if she said anything, he probably denied it.
Right.
So in her mind, this is now Satan talking. So she goes and forms the Church of the Word of God, which is basically just a group that's mission is to go kill her husband.
Save him.
Yes.
She meant to save him.
Yeah.
By stabbing him.
By stabbing him with hot pokers.
Yeah. Is that not how you save
it was
people?
like with the, it kind of felt like the Jesus and the spear.
Oh, yeah, on the side. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
They stabbed him in the side.
Yeah, that's all in time for Easter. Actually, more in time for Passover.
Yeah.
Getting close, guys.
Uncomfortable. So what would the 10 plagues of Vessen be scary?
Oh, so good. Oh, yeah. Passover, Vessen. Oh, so good. Sorry. Anyway, so she stabbed him to save him because that's how you save people.
Yeah.
Is just stabbing them.
With hot pokers.
Yeah, with hot poker. That's how I save people. I stab them with my hot poker.
Don't look to yell for help, apparently.
Yeah.
I missed my joke.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, do you guys have any other thoughts on the way that this all played out? I thought it was interesting.
Joan
Vark. That they when Nick presents himself, he refers to himself as a decapitare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Which is, I guess, what is it? The German for Grimm? Or what
I thought that was the Latin.
Latin for
Yeah.
Grimm.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't. I'm like, as I said, I'm like, that doesn't sound German, but
No.
I don't know. I didn't take Latin.
But why did he even do that?
I think
they
like,
scare
just
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of me?
Like, because it's one thing to say you're a Grimm, but like, if you walk into a place, I am a decapitare. Yeah, that sounds scary. You don't even need to speak another language. I heard decapitate in there.
Yeah.
I think also like the guy seemed very, because he was old school, traditional, whatever. I think the idea was to like appeal to his old school, traditional, whatever.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I would have just busted in, slam up against the wall. So you're a devil? I'm a Grimm. That would have been scary.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that a lot.
I like Nick using his Grimm status to like solve a case, and I thought it was an interesting difference that this guy, even though he was the Vesson of the central story, as opposed to most weeks where the Vesson of the central story is either the victim or the perpetrator. He was neither. It was centered around him. I guess by the end he was a victim, but like the initial victim was someone else. It was just he didn't cause this. It wasn't his fault. Like he didn't tell them.
Kind of his fault.
Is it?
I mean, he was the one holding the secret sermons and said, "Don't let anyone take pictures."
I mean, but
that's
like,
fair. You go to concerts, you can't take pictures at concerts. I mean,
and sometimes people blame the musicians when stuff goes wrong. Do they not?
Well, okay.
No, you wouldn't. Like,
people do though. People try to sue musicians all the time for stupid things that happen at concerts.
Yeah, but you can't. But they don't win.
I'm just saying.
But again, like he wasn't guilty. Like the truth was, at the end of the day, like all he was guilty of doing was trying to help people the way that he knew how. And you could like make arguments about like he's misleading them, he's lying to them, like that's about your view on religion in general. I would say
it kind of parallels the Renard story in the misleading, you know, in the that Renard was not Renard and he was not the devil.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Parallels.
Not like the that's God's money. Well, he or she just has to prove it.
That was so funny.
That was great.
That was so good.
Great line.
I think I tweeted it. I was so amused.
This one had a lot of great like lines.
Oh yeah, people were talking about the are you supposed to cut off my head? Great line. It's good.
He's like, no, I don't do that. I'm not that kind of decapitare. I just want him to keep saying it because it's a cool word.
I thought it was going to be different when I saw the shots of like, and they gave it like that biblical theme before it came out.
The promo?
And yeah, the promo, and they showing the devil guy and stuff. I thought we were going to get like some kind of like devil Vesson versus some kind of like angel Vesson, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
At one point during this episode, I definitely, like when they introduced us to the Church of the Word of God, like I really...
Joan Vark?
Yes, her.
She could be an angel.
She could.
I definitely was expecting something like to be like the anti-demon Vesson would be.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If there's just a Vesson that just is a human with wings, so it's basically just Angel from the X-Men.
Sure.
Like awesome.
Cool. I'm in.
Great. Yeah. I want to be that one. Because so far, even the bird Vesson, none of them can fly
Yet.
that
we know of.
Yes.
Because we thought that Marwan was gonna jump off the roof.
Yeah,
we were so excited.
Well, when the Birdman goes up to the roof to escape, you're like, oh my God, he's gonna fly.
And then
he's gonna fly, and then he climbs, and we're like, all right, well that's fine.
He was like Spider-Man Vesson. Spider-Man's a Vesson. I just thought about that.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we do some predicting? Oh wait.
Oh.
There's big news first.
Oh yeah.
There's big news first. Hit that news.
AfterBuzz TV.
Sweet, juicy season 6 news.
Yeah.
In case you guys missed it, because it feels like it happened forever ago, because it was like
right after we announced our gossip.
Yeah. Grimm has been renewed for season 6.
Yay.
That's all there is to it. We will get it minimum one more year of Grimm.
Nice.
Which is great to know. I didn't ever have really any doubts. I'm always nervous about NBC. NBC could be a dangerous network to be on. But Grimm has always been a solid performer for them, and like it's just getting better.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about next season.
Absolutely.
And it just means that like this isn't going to have to like wrap out, like because they're building so much with the Stick and Black Claw, and like it can keep going.
6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I would love even more seasons as well, but like, oh my God, a Grimm movie.
Cool.
I will also say that I know that they have wrapped filming on the finale.
They have.
Oh.
That has been confirmed by all of the stars tweeting pictures themselves relaxing on hiatus.
Nice. Trouble in Paradise?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
We haven't seen Trouble in
I know.
Well, speaking of that, let's move into some predictions.
now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, guys.
Did you guys see the promo?
I did.
Oh my god. It's Hex and Beast versus Hex and Beast.
Yeah, it's getting some crazy stuff's about to go down.
Yeah.
I missed it. What happened?
Well, basically, the announcer comes on. Adeline's powers are back, or something like that. Basically, Adeline's powers are now going to be back, like maybe not, if not full strength, like back in a big way. And Eve knows it.
Eve
So
threatens her.
yeah, that was to me in the preview. That was the most surprising part.
Yeah.
Was that she goes, "If you hurt Nick, I will come for you."
Yeah.
Ooh, so
Like-
see, like you said, there is some hidden level of emotions.
When you
down
said
there.
that, I was like, oh, I want to get to predictions.
So, do you guys think that Eve has feelings for Nick?
Well, she did seem. Didn't she bust in like a couple episodes ago and saw them together? Or no, she called on the phone.
Yeah.
Right, and that seemed kind of awkward already, just
Yeah.
on the phone.
She was like, "So you're sleeping with my ex-boyfriend?"
She did not
are
say
you?"
that. She
No,
definitely did not
it's
say
in
that.
the subtext.
Right, but
yo.
just to be clear,
she
never
didn't
said
need
that.
to say it.
Yeah, so I predict that Eve is not having feelings for Nick, but is very protective of him because she wants him and the Scooby Gang to join HW, right? So the idea is that she wants him safe so that he can help them defeat Black Claw. That's my prediction in terms of her feelings.
All right.
Adeline and Eve. It's close to like Adam and Eve, right? Adeline and I don't know. Just trying to play some name game here. You know they like to throw that stuff in there.
Yeah, if there was a character named Adam like
He would show
regularly
up.
on this show, we'd be like already shipping the two
Yeah,
of
that's
them
true.
just because of the names. Like the ship name is
Predictions, season 6. A new character joins HW. His name is Adam.
So easy. And he becomes best buddies with Eve, but they're
Eve
both crazy,
uses the-
emotionless, asexual people.
I like that a lot, actually.
Eve uses the witch bong to turn into Nick and then has sex with Adeline.
How come I didn't come up with that?
Yeah, how is Yael not the dirtiest person tonight?
Dillon.
Well done, sir.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so all right, so basically I have to, like, if I'm gonna predict, since we're in predictions, I think that Adeline's powers are gonna come back and she's gonna basically run out, like she's gonna run out on Nick, leaving Nick with Kelly. And at some point in that, like, she's gonna effectively go missing because she's unwilling to tell Nick about her powers.
That's your prediction?
All
right.
Which is gonna lead into Eve versus Adeline, which is when Adeline loses control of her powers, and it's Hex and Beast fight part 2.
I think Nick is going to discover Adeline's powers. I think Vanessa says I heard Kelly will have powers soon. What, are you looking at these
Yes.
names? So Nikki S has shipped it as Adiv.
No,
or
I like the other one. Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Adeline.
Adeline's name works really well for ships, which is funny because it's such a silly name. No offense to anyone named Adeline.
It's just an unusual name,
Yeah.
but I think it's because it's unusual that it just like
Ships well.
because it's not like something. It's not like a word.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's fun to say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm shipping Natalie. It's gonna get Natalie shippers. The ship is under attack. Like, get out the cannons. Like, it's gonna be dangerous in these waters.
I think the ship is fine. I think once Adeline reveals her powers, Nick is going to be like, we're going to deal with this. Because Nick's a really understanding guy. They're going to have to deal with it, and he's not going to tell her about the stick. I think even though she's going to have to reveal her secret, he's not going to reveal his.
Interesting.
And as for Kelly having powers, meh, it's a baby. We'll see.
This just came into my head. Have we seen? We saw Monroe Vogue last week,
Yes.
right? Okay, so that's out the window. I'm thinking like this, like our magic stick. Like, how deep do its powers run?
Because we were thinking it might
does
cure,
it?
air quotes, cure the powers.
Yeah,
Does it like get rid of your vested abilities? Is that what
Yeah.
you're thinking?
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be-
Yeah.
It did kind of look steakish when I first saw it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, is he gonna like stab somebody with
A
it?
lot of
Well,
people
we
thought
talked
it was-
about that on the show, and they also made a Hellmouth joke.
Oh, okay.
If you were listening, like there's a steak on the table, and they're talking about the opening up a portal to hell under the city.
Right.
We get it.
Okay.
All right.
Buffy.
So there's so much fun is coming, you guys. We still have a bunch more episodes. We still have like 7 episodes left.
Did you say there's a lot of fun coming?
I mean, scary fun.
Because
like,
Renard isn't. Oh.
No.
Aw, all right, let's wrap it up
Okay.
here. Play that outro music. No, I'm serious. Let's get it. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV for the Grimm After Show. We'll be back next week with episode 517. Yael Tygiel. Until then, where can everyone find you?
Everyone can find me online at yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And a new episode of Intimate Interrogations, my sexy podcast that's free on iTunes, comes out tonight. Check it out.
You can find me on Twitter at Dillon Chance. That's DILLONCHANCE.
And also at Tari J.
Oh yeah.
T-A-U-R-I-J-A-Y.
He
Tari
has
J.
multiple places you can
Yeah.
find him. All right, guys, I'm Zach Wilson. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Be sure to go there, subscribe, help me in my quest for 1,000 subscribers in 2016. That's Zach Wilson, THATZACHWILSON. And also stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about the Sleepy Hollow finale in just a few minutes on AfterBuzz, and there's some stuff to say. There's some stuff. All right, guys, we have been the Grimm After Show. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.